Did he like create them or something? I don't
Or,
know. I don't
or
really
like
know the...
something like it was related to it. But I guess the real big question is whether Mojo Jojo likes bananas.
He does.
Maybe he does.
Speaking of bananas,
Yeah.
it's pretty bananas where we are right now in the episode. Do we want to get to this week's episode of Reflex Save?
Yeah.
I'm very keen to start.
I'm very keen to start.
All right.
Thanks for stealing my words,
I'm
Tim.
very
Thanks for
keen to
stealing my
start.
words, Tim. Wait, Jen.
All right. At the risk of this going off the rails, do you guys remember what happened last week?
No! Oh, wait. Can I change my answer?
Yes, go ahead. I was going to
Jesus.
call you
It's going to
Tim.
be a long night of recording.
Go ahead, Tim.
We called out Shanda's bullshit.
Yeah, that's right. We got him ejected
Yeah.
from the speaker's office.
Invisible Beef Cliff, or was that the one before?
Well, that was that episode, I think.
Yeah, Invisible Beef Cliff hit Svieta and she ran away, and it warned her that it was coming for Wodun.
Wodun has been provided that message.
He has.
It was relayed.
And
You had breakfast at a rude French cafe.
Pain chocolat.
Yeah, that's it.
God.
That's it.
I really am sorry to every person who's
I feel
French
like-
that listens to
I
this.
feel like rude and French is an oxymoron.
Come on. We have people in France that listen to us.
And they'll agree with me.
They're like, oui.
People are French listening right on Twitter. Are they right? I don't think so. I'm with you. Don't worry. Apart from that,
Hold on
yes.
a sec, I have a French friend I can ask
Okay.
about this.
Well, that's what happened last
Yeah,
time
that
as
is
well.
what happened last week.
I don't know if that'll end up getting cut or not, but beside the point. Also, yes, you were at the speaker, Deves's.
We got the name wrong.
Yep,
so
We got the name
There
wrong
was a
several
lot of
times.
confusion.
Deves's office, where you barged past the teenage receptionist and made your way in.
Enough of this character bit. Move aside.
Move aside. And she'd agreed to give you a bit of help as well, apart from ejecting Shanda. You had let her know what you were trying to do, which is to get out into the sea of moving ice. There's an island out there.
Oh, yeah, there
We
was
need
a
a-
whale called Angajuk.
Yeah,
Find
Angajuk.
a fuzzy book and an amulet.
I really wish you would stop calling it a fuzzy book, but that is not wrong.
How else would you like us to describe it?
A book.
A hairy book.
No, it has.
Hairy is worse.
Supply us an adjective that's better than fuzzy.
Puffy.
Furry.
No.
Furry book.
No.
Tactile
refuse.
book.
Felt
Special.
book?
Anyway.
A book.
So she did mention that there was a rumor about there's like some sort of whale, like special whale that is in the sea of moving ice. There's some rumors about it, but she doesn't really know much because she heard about it when she was a kid and she didn't put much stock in those kind of rumors and things like that. She also suggested maybe to talk a little bit about it to the refugee camp that's behind the town hall. And potentially there might even be other ways to get out into the sea of moving ice as well. Gave you the lead that the librarian from East Haven seems to have survived and is also hanging out at the refugee camp. So you might be able to find her there.
Nay.
Sorry.
Nay was her name.
Nayray.
Nay.
Nay. Yes, nay.
What?
You're not wrong.
Zimmer's lost.
You've lost Zimmer. We've lost Zimmer for the night.
Yeah, alright.
Okay.
So, where we left off is that she'd given you the name Angajuk. And
There's no pronunciation guide for that, is there?
oh, there probably is. Hang on, let me double check that.
Can you at least put the spelling into...
I did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. We wrote
Shit,
it
I
down.
must have missed that.
Angajuk.
Pronunciation guide. Let's see if he's on there. Oh, it is. I was totally wrong. Orngajuk.
Ungajuk.
Orngajuk.
From
Like Orn as in awning. Ga, G-A-H-J-O-O-K. Orngajuk.
Brilliant. I just got to remember so I make sure I get it wrong.
Yes, I was intensely worried that Tim, for once in his life, would have pronounced it correctly at some point.
It's hard work deliberately getting everything
I
wrong.
know. You do put a lot of effort into it, and I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Um,
Thanks, Kevin.
I'll eject you from this table. Okay, so you hadn't been dismissed from Devesa. If you've got any other questions for her, that's the last thing that she talked about. But you're free to ask any other questions if you've got them, or you could make your way out if you want to now as well.
I would like to turn to Wodun and ask, like, I'm actually surprised that you didn't want to put your own name down to become Speaker of Goodmead.
No, I'm not about the politics. I only want the glory.
Well, all that time that you spent with Kendrick, I thought you might want to take over from him should anything happen.
No. I mean, I'm happy being good friends with the rich and powerful, but I don't want the responsibility of being important. I just want to be famous and heroic.
Like a concubine.
A famous and heroic concubine, yes.
That's fair, okay. I had figured that you would have wanted that authority, but...
No, I'm a natural leader, that's true, but and very good looking.
I mean, you laugh, but he has a really high charisma.
I'm not saying anything.
But no, politics are not my strong point. While we are here, Devessa,
Yes.
I would like to ask you, speaking of politics, do you know much about the Lord's Alliance that you mentioned?
Yes, Lord's Alliance, very well. Quite famous in Faerun. What do you want to know?
Well, you mentioned that they are in charge of Rebel's End.
They are, in a way, remotely. The day-to-day running of Revel's End is handled by wardens and more local people, but it is ostensibly the Lord's Alliance that is the arbiter of justice and also technical ownership of the prison itself. You see, how should I say? They rule it. They do visit from time to time, as far as I'm aware, often to mete out judgments in terms of people asking pardons or anything similar to that, or to simply put away other people in Faerun where they want to lock them far away from other major cities. The Dale is quite attractive to those who want to keep undesirables away from their own cities.
Are they known? Who are the Lords?
I'm surprised you don't know, being a seasoned adventurer. The
Where's
Lords...
everybody at me tonight? Come on. Jesus.
Well, I just thought you would know, you know. The Lord's Alliance are one of the larger groups that operate within Faerun, across multiple boundaries and jurisdictions. They pride themselves on being arbiters of justice. Think of a very typical paladin. That's really what we're talking about here. Knights in shining armor, all that jazz. I will say, though, that even those that would seem incorruptible are still human after all. But in general, their whole stated goal is to protect the weak and innocent and bring justice to evildoers across the land.
Do you know where it is that we could find one, if we were looking to get an introduction?
Lord's Alliance, I would be surprised if anyone was here, unless they were at Revel's End for some form of official duties. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't come this way, and given that the trail is so much more treacherous and dangerous, they haven't been coming on their regular checkups. They have simply let their inmates stagnate over the course of the last couple of years. Occasionally, we will hear about someone making the pass that they're supposed to be bound for Revel's End. We rarely hear them actually making it this far. I suspect that whilst the Lord's Alliance are wanting to send their undesirables this way, they probably don't like the idea of purposely killing people for no reason, even those that are found guilty of a crime, unless they are bound for execution themselves. So I believe they may have stopped sending them all together and just kept them in more local prisons.
Do you have any names?
What kind of names do you want? From Baldur's Gate, the Grand Duke of Baldur's Gate, and Marshal of the Flaming Fists, Uldir Ravengard is quite famous. If you go through to Waterdeep, Open Lord, Lord Silverhand, she was the leader of the Alliance last time I checked. In Neverwinter, Lord Protector Daggalt Neverember is also part of the Lord's Alliance as well. Powerful people in powerful positions, of course. Members may be spread far and wide, but they are often knighted. And they openly serve. They're not like the Harpers, who are more like a network of spies, if that would make sense.
You want to become one?
No, I never said that. He winks very unsubtly at Svieta. So, you mentioned that it could be quite pricey to obtain a boat at Revel's End.
Yes, it could be. There's not much truck for sending anyone through the Sea of Moving Ice. And as such, I believe anyone that's willing to risk their lives out there would command a hefty sum. If you're thinking about trying to get some sort of, I don't know, exemption from the Lord's Alliance, you may be out of luck unless they are there and you can convince them of your quest. Otherwise, the wardens that run Revel's End may not be so kind. They're not necessarily part of the Lord's Alliance themselves. They just run the prison.
And tell me this, Devessa.
Yes?
When was the last time you've thrown a fundraiser?
What?
To be honest, I don't think I've ever thrown a fundraiser.
Well, guess what, Javessa? Devessa?
Yes?
We're throwing a fundraiser.
Okay.
We're raising money
Okay.
to buy a boat.
To buy a boat. That's
rent
quite
a boat.
ambitious.
And we're doing it tonight.
Oh. Oh, really?
So tell the refugees to bring all their money.
Well, if you want to do some kind of celebration party for Icewind Dale, the 10 towns not being destroyed, I'm sure the refugees would be happy to receive you as honored guests.
I'm sure they would too. Anyway, that concludes my line of questioning
I see.
for now.
Has anybody else got a line of questioning? The spotlight is on me as if we're in a part of interrogation room.
No questions for you. Some for Wodun afterwards, though.
I would have questions as well.
No, I want to know more about this whale, but I will talk to Nere.
I think a good idea. And possibly just some more of the citizens you hear around the place might have more information.
Okay.
Sorry, Devessa.
Yes.
Just one thing before we go. This notion of a fundraiser, like, if we were to do something like that, what would be the best way to go about it?
As I said, I've never run a fundraiser before. So you're fresh out of luck asking me precisely on how this would work. However, I suspect you'll need to do months of coordination. Perhaps you'll need to correctly designate the charitable donations as a tax-exempt charitable write-off, and therefore you wouldn't get charged the normal tithes and taxes that would be...
Okay. Thank you. Point
see.
taken.
We know, we'll
Form
do it right now.
72B and -87 might be appropriate in this situation.
Get Carrie in here. I've got a note for them to write. Carrie,
Carrie?
your assistant. Carrie? I can't remember.
The Raven Lord.
No one summons the Raven Lord. You politely ask if they will send ravens for you.
I could just send out a bunch of meat birds, and everyone can gather somewhere.
Do you have anything fancier, like a fine cheese bird or something? We're trying to attract the wealthiest of the wealthy.
No, well then I need a morsel of food.
We're
I
going to
don't
get a
wanna-
morsel of cheese.
Oh, that's food, I guess.
I don't want to like put a dampener on your plan, but it's entirely likely that after like offloading the treasure from the Sunblight Citadel, we might be among the wealthiest people in the Dale.
I would probably suspect you are. And asking for further money might not endear you to said people. Although you did just save everyone. Perhaps that could be exploited if that's what you wish.
Who's going to buy all these things from us?
No, we haven't sold any of the items.
Well, we were just gonna do it through the Black Iron Blades, right?
I don't know, probably. They seem like a bank.
That
We should find a forge cleric somewhere, and they can just squish it all into money.
the Black Iron Blades are dwarves, so they probably know a forge cleric.
Carnelian needs to pick up some armor.
I think you guys did that
maybe
already,
just
didn't
get.
you?
I picked up mine.
I didn't actually exchange. I said I wanted to, but I didn't actually get around to
I think we
exchanging
were.
money.
I think we're going to
I
handle
think
that
we went to Devessa first before.
Yeah, and she said she'd get us hook us up with a discount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Also, refugees famously have a lot of money.
I mean, they brought all their belongings to...
If they've got money, it's on them.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a big if.
Can we talk amongst ourselves?
You can do whatever you want. Yeah, she's like, Deves is just waiting to see if you've got any more questions for her.
No questions.
No more questions.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Well then, I have a lot of work to do because we have a lot of refugees. I would appreciate it if I could get back to it. Of course, I don't want to be pushing you out. You are heroes after all.
Thank you for saying that. It's good to hear.
Yes.
I hope you've got a fancy gown for the event tonight.
I'll put on my fanciest.
Me too.
Oh, I see.
Away!
Goodbye.
Dragon Slayers away!
Thanks, Tavessa. What you did with Shanda was beautiful.
I always like putting mean-spirited men in their place.
Well, should we head outside and talk to the refugees then?
Yeah, Nayray might be a good start. Do you remember what she looks like?
She was quite young, I think, and that's about all I remember.
Blonde.
Was she blonde?
Was she?
I don't know. I'm colourblind.
Yes, she was a delightful young lady. Look forward to seeing her again.
Well, do you want to go to the Black Iron Blades first, or just straight there?
What's closer?
The refugee camp would technically be closer. The Black Iron Blades are across the square from where you are, basically. Like, there's a big open town square in the middle. And behind the town hall where you are right now, that's where the refugee camp is set up. It's sort of almost like if you think of a shanty town type deal, it's not quite that bad, but there's lots of tents strewn across houses to put temporary shelters and things like that.
Oh, like in District 9.
Yeah, it's not quite as dystopianly depressing because obviously the town's trying to help where possible and they are trying to house people. But it's quite, from what Wodun saw, I mean, it's quite well set up for what it is, but it just has to be makeshift.
Didn't you say it was behind the town hall?
Yes, yeah.
Well, let's go to the Black Iron Blades first, and then, time warp through the exchanging of money for goods and or services. And then
That's an armor order.
let's go to the shanty town.
Refugee camp.
I know what I said.
Sounds good. We can place our order too. It might take a while to process it.
What are you getting?
That's an excellent question. I'll tell you off camera.
Thank you. What is this
Jen?
camera?
Wait,
Oh, the fourth wall is coming down.
I love playing near that wall.
So close.
As we go down, again, I want to turn to Wodun, because you're just such a confusing man.
Trust me, I know.
Where did the thought of a fundraiser come from?
Well, we need funds. I'm trying to raise some.
Shouldn't we have discussed that over breakfast before you just blurting it out?
Look, I live in the moment, and I was trying to solve a problem of us needing money for a boat.
I don't want to wait until nighttime to get the money. Why can't we just do like a lunch fundraiser? Why does that have to be
It can be a lunch fundraiser. It just wouldn't give the wealthy people enough time to probably get ready and gather their gold.
I'd rather look out for this whale. It sounds way more exciting than,
What if we can't find the whale? Then we have a backup plan.
Well, they said that there's a whale there, so... I don't know, even if it's just a giant rock.
Are you
And
a big
then-
whale guy, or big on your whales?
I've never seen a whale before.
Me neither. I can't wait
But
to
I
turn
want
into
to.
one. Well, actually, if it just turns out to be a rock, then we don't have any money for a boat, and then we're just stuck there.
We have, treasure, though.
Yeah, but that's not going to help us when we actually get to the Sea of Moving Ice.
Sure it will.
Here's a question. How
Yes.
much... We need to find out how much it will cost to rent us a boat.
That's a good question.
We don't even know how much funds we are raising.
Well, she said it could be upwards of 1,000 gold
Oh.
pieces
Okay.
To rent or buy?
The rent.
to rent.
It's
We-
expensive.
Probably have more than that in, between, the raw gold pieces, the golden mask, the spiced alcohol.
I wonder if Valine has money. Maybe she can spot us.
Feline.
She's coming. We're
Yeah.
doing this for her. Well,
Yeah,
sort of.
exactly.
We should ask her about if she has any plans, or maybe feed her the...
So we've either got the boat or a potential whale that might just be a story
I wonder if it's a
legend.
toothy whale or a Baleen whale.
Well, let's ask Nay Ray about it.
Yes.
She seemed like a good lead. Let's gather as much information as we can and take it back to Valine. I'm sure Valine knows more than what she's told us, so who knows.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Also, when is the next, if you know off the top of your head, if you don't, it's cool. When's the next sacrifice night to Aureel?
As soon as you started asking that question, I knew what you were going to ask.
When's the next full moon, please?
Off the top of my head, because I'd have to calculate it from when the last time you guys, when that happened. I think you're still like a good half a month away off the top of my head.
All right.
That being said, I will, for next time, do the calculation and let you know.
I'm pretty sure they'll, like, fix the odds in our favor to not sacrifice the heroes.
No, but we gotta make sure we're somewhere. Or we can camp out somewhere.
So it sounds like you guys want to make your way to the refugee camp behind the town hall. So you head out of the town hall into the square that's open air. Now that it's getting later in the morning, you can see that it's quite busy. There's a lot of people, a lot more than when you were last here as well. As I said, the city's brimming with people. And you can't really imagine how full it must have gotten if there was going to be more towns that had escaped the dragon's wrath and made their way here. But with that, you take a sharp turn and head around to the back of the town hall, and you get to the start of the refugee camp. As I described, it is taking place basically between several houses. There's sort of tent canopies set up across the streets to have makeshift shelter. There are fires lit in braziers and burning through little small makeshift chimneys to keep people warm. You can see furs and little like rooms all laid out, almost like a market stall, having their own little places, and people have set up there. It's not ideal, but you know that the people appreciate being taken in like this, because you can see in general, whilst people are living as best they can, they seem generally happy, maybe relieved. But you do see from time to time some sad faces, lonely faces. People have lost loved ones, particularly those refugees that you can see that are probably from East Haven. Whilst Goodmead managed to come out unscathed, East Haven, even though it had warning, was not so lucky.
Question?
Yeah.
Can Horacio do a scan and see if anyone's struggling with an injury?
You sure can.
Carnelian, can we maybe get a beat? Lay us a track down.
He's asking you to break it down.
Lift these people up with your music.
Sorry, what would that check be?
A medicine check, I think, would be the most appropriate.
14.
14. So, what I will say is, you can see various people do have injuries. Burn marks, deep cuts and lacerations have been bandaged up. If you want, I will allow you to roll that over, and there is a makeshift field hospital sort of area. And you could investigate that separately if you'd like to. Otherwise, just generally looking around, people are banged up for sure. The ones that are walking around are probably better off than the ones having to be looked after elsewhere.
I see. Svieta.
Yes.
If you're interested, I'm actually thinking of spending a little time in the field hospital after we've finished our inquiries here. You might learn a thing or two.
I would love to
If
come.
you're interested?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Very good.
Carnelian's gonna pull out a little fife and start playing start playing as you walk through the town, the encampment.
A new instrument, you say?
I mean, he's always had like a little flute, but he prefers the violin.
What type of music are you playing?
I said fife, and my first thought was like the main theme of The Great Escape.
Okay. So, roll me a performance check.
I'm good at these. That's a good roll. That is a 25.
As you're moving through, the sounds of the fife start picking up from Carnelian. Whilst it is a very catchy and maybe upbeat tune, there's soft notes to it that lend themselves to subtleties that are otherwise hard to pick. But from a professional bard, he makes it seem all so easy. And very quickly you're able to gather a crowd people following you as you're walking, unless you stop. The entertainment is a break from the horrors that they've witnessed. And you can see in general you're lifting quite a few spirits this way.
Did you want a crowd?
Yeah, I wanted to cheer people up. I want these people to feel like they've found a new home, not that they've had their homes taken from them.
That might be a thing they'd like to hear.
I think they probably want to go back home. But, their home isn't gone, it just needs to be. Your home is still there. Houses can be rebuilt. Farms replanted.
Your home is not there, but it can be.
Your song is called You'll Have a Home Again Soon.
If only you could rebuild it.
Wodun will walk past a small boy or a girl on the street.
You can see there's a small group of children that since the fife has started picking up, they were, milling around, but now they generally seem to be happy playing and dancing.
And he'll take his shield off of his back and sort of present it to one of them or to all of them and say, "You kids, listen up. If you see any more dragons, I want you guys to be on the lookout and you protect this town. This is the shield I used in the very dragon fight itself. It's magical." And I'll hand it to them and cast light on it as I do.
Whoa, mister! That's amazing!
It's a fantastic shield. It served me well, and I'm sure you'll serve this city well.
And one of the children take it, and it's big and clumsy on their hand, but they proudly wear it up high with the light shining. Whoa, look what I got! The heroes! They gave me a shield! And then it's like several kids like, no, I want a shield! Oh, no! And they start crowding this one children as they all start playing and giggling. And they generally seem to, whilst there's a bit of jealousy going around, they seem to be kind of having a good time.
I'll walk up to Wodun and put my hand on his shoulder and just look at him and nod and look at the kids again.
I'll also lend a smile over, but then I'll tune into Wodun's head. Stop lying.
Oh. I wasn't lying. I was just trying to make the kids happy.
Oh, fair. Okay, that would keep. It's fine.
But I have been lying. I'm
no.
not going to lie.
I can hear your thoughts.
Oh, do I need to be saying this out loud?
No.
Oh, hang on. Can you hear me now? That was me thinking it.
Can you hear
No.
what now?
You hear back. No.
Oh, I said it in my head, but maybe I didn't say it loud enough.
See, I lied to you.
Oh!
You don't like it, do you?
No. I see your point.
Right.
I'll look over to... Well, I'm assuming I don't need to do an insight check. I'm going to look over to...
They just...
look back.
They're just staring intensely at each other.
Yep.
You can tell when the Wi-Fi's on.
I wonder where Dayray is.
Maybe now that we have, attracted a crowd, we can ask them.
You
Kids.
can ask them.
Kids, have you seen a librarian?
The whole
Where
one
is
librarian.
Where is the nearest librarian? I must know.
Have you seen this librarian?
Librarian.
I'm gonna let you guys do in parlance. I'll let you guys make a choice on the check you want to do here. Used to be called gather information, but you could do an investigate check, a persuasion check, or I think those are the two most appropriate checks. If you want to do one of those two checks, you can spend 20 minutes asking the crowd of onlookers you've got for the nearest librarian.
Carnelian would like to try persuasion.
Yep.
You've got crab in your...
Very nice. Not bad.
Going around the room, did you roll Svieta?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Wodun,
13.
13. Horacio,
18.
and that's investigate or persuade.
That's an investigate.
Okay. And Carnelian.
25.
Whoa.
Okay.
Really grilling the audience.
Yeah. It's like shaking down the kids. Where's the librarian?
It's persuasion, not intimidate.
Oh, true.
I will say that a combination, as a group, so I'm taking that as a group check, so as long as enough of you pass the DC, then I'm fine. So between the two of you, I think that's enough. You're able to talk to a few of your onlookers after your performance, and they thank you and give you a lot of a lot of praises. And then when you ask some pointed questions, they do point you somewhere towards the back of the refugee camp where they'd heard that the librarian from East Haven had survived, and she set up a small makeshift library.
That's remarkable, given the circumstances.
I mean, she probably brought mostly books with her.
Thank you, Carnelian. You're always so grounding. I need that.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
Oh, so deadpan.
You always know when to bring me back.
I was reaching high for the sky, but now we return.
Both feet firmly planted. I appreciate it.
I'm happy to be your grounding rod.
So I'm assuming that all of you head out that way, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You head towards the back of the shanty town, where it starts to pretty much open up into some more of the general streets. And after asking a few more locals, I'll roll over the checks that you guys made before. You get a couple directions, twists and turns, and eventually you see a modestly sized tent. Sort of looks like it's been made out of marquee, and there's been bigger tarps put over it to make makeshift walls. And it's slightly ajar. Inside you can see that there seems to be something, maybe some fire going or something to keep it lit inside as well. But you can't see in just yet.
Impressive setup.
You approach and walk in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As you walk in, the light that you did see is indeed, it looks like a fire in the middle of this tent. Although those of you who are, and that this is basically all of you at this point, who are familiar with magic, can feel the magic radiating off it. It does feel like there's heat, but maybe not as much as a real fire. And anyone that looks closely can tell that it's like the illusion of fire instead.
Oh, cool.
Sitting at a desk that appears to have been bought here as well, you can see Nay carefully studying a book, and lining the walls, quote-unquote, of this tent, you can see a number of bookshelves with books that have been clearly bought from the East Haven Library. It's impressive that she hauled this much stuff all the way from East Haven.
I wonder if Greg helped her.
I also had a great joke. No, mine was different, so that's perfect. I'll approach Narrate. Who's in here?
It's just Nay. She looks like she's bent over a book of some description that she seems to be studying. She's fairly engrossed. She hasn't noticed you come in yet.
Okay. I'll sort of go. I'll gently tap one of the tables and say, Greg's rental. Appreciate it. Nice one. How are you been, Nero?
Nay looks up brightly, and she smiles at you, and closes the book. Oh, hello! It's good to see all of you. What brings you to, my humble library? And she gestures around.
We need to talk to somebody about a whale.
Oh, I don't know how many books I bought that might have survived about whales specifically, but I'm sure I can get you to the animal resource section, or...
It's like a mythological whale, or like a story?
It's a children's book.
Angajuk Nere.
You remember?
Okay. One at a time. You said it was a folktale, a child's folktale. Angajuk?
Yes.
I think I recognize the name, yes. Hang on, let me just, And she gets up and you see her start stalking the limited bookshelf. It's like, maybe this section. And she grabs part of it where the bookshelves look like they're connected and sort of swings them out to reveal more bookshelf beyond it.
Oh, man.
Whoa.
She's like...
concertina bookshelf
Yeah.
you got going here?
Starts like accordion, like an accordion out. Oh, yes, I think this might be the reference. And she pulls out a book that is entitled Sailor's Tales for Children by R.F. Skeen.
Oh,
Is this one of those, reader forewarned, you have to choose your doom? One of those books?
Goosebumps. Goosebumps.
Duck bumps.
Oh, I don't know quite about that, but this is a collection of stories that was compiled from a sailor some 100 years ago, I think.
Oh, his descendant is living in the city.
I've heard that his family does hang around the 10 towns, actually. A curious thing, if you want me to go get the etymology of the family tree, I could look that...
No.
No?
it's
Okay.
simple. It's Beehive, isn't it? Or is it Seahive now? I don't know how far they're up to.
I am not sure, but here, take this book. I think there's a couple of stories about the Sea of Moving Ice is what you're after, yes?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, we'll take this.
Oh, well,
Thanks.
you guys have to return the book as well, don't you?
I thought we
I
did
think
that.
we did that, yeah.
I don't know. Someone mentioned in one of the previous episodes that they have a book to return. I think it might have been you, Tim.
Yeah, you might have taken a few more after we returned the other ones.
About gods.
Yes. Nay, Ray, you're very good at keeping track of books.
Oh, yes, I managed to bring the entire record collection with me. Hang on. And she goes back to her desk and she
You what?
opens a drawer. And from this drawer that looks like it's fairly small, she brings out this large ledger that you remember from the original library that was putting all the checked in and checked out books. And she slams it on the table and makes a satisfying thud sound. And then she flips it all the way open to the newest pages.
A bag of holding her portable bowl, or several of them, may explain how she was able to transport like many books by herself.
Oh, I do, yes, have a couple of things that function sort of like that. I was able to rescue quite a lot of books from the library when I'd heard that the dragon was coming to town. A lot of people didn't heed such warning, but given that I heard that it was a meat bird, I made a classical deduction that only this kind of ridiculous thing could have been those that came through the library not so long ago, and you all seem like good folks, so I thought that might be prudent to take measures to protect myself and my collection.
You've done remarkably well, I must say.
Oh, it was quite a lot of prep. There's quite a few books that didn't make it. When I heard the dragon was approaching, I had to move fast and get out of the town. I was lucky to escape, but not everyone was so lucky, unfortunately.
Indeed.
Well,
May I see the book?
of course. Let me check. You've got your library card still, don't you?
I sure don't. I didn't get one.
So you can borrow mine if you like.
That's not my name in front of it.
I mean,
You,
I'm trying to remember what it was.
I think it was Dot.
Dot.
I think it might
Wasn't
have
that
been,
the
yeah.
nurse?
Oh, yeah, Nurse Dot.
Nurse Dodd?
Cancel
Uh,
my 3 o'clock. That's it.
Dolly.
What was that name? Sveta?
No, don't worry about it. Just
said
use
I'm
Wodun's
sweating.
card. Yeah,
Sweaty in here. It's hot. It's the
because
fire.
he's wearing
you
a
know.
sweater.
It's so cold outside, I forgot my sweater.
Oh, okay. Well, I could probably check it out under Wodun's name, yes. You don't have any outstanding books, only Horacio does. There was a prayer book, I believe, to Kalemvor that's still outstanding.
Yes, I have it right here. Would you believe that?
That's fantastic.
What's the late fee? Just hit me. You can be honest. It's
That's
all right.
okay. I've heard the stories. Dragon Slayers of 10 Towns. Ooh, that sounds pretty exciting, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, a little bit.
I'll waive any late fees that you have currently. That's okay. As long as you
Oh.
bought the books back, that's what's important.
You're much too kind. Thank you.
I know.
And I will pull out the small prayer book of Callan and give it to her.
She takes it. She reaches down into the drawer and takes out this giant rubber stamp and just boom, boom.
The little book of
Check
K.
Heck of a read, Nere. Really recommend you put that high on your list.
Oh, I've read just about every book in here.
Who's your favorite god?
It's a dangerous question.
Don't answer if you're afraid. But if it... I'm not going to talk. You just tell me.
Does it
Well-
start with K?
No,
Well, no, don't need to know that.
I
Does
would
it start with an O?
I would say that I'm particular to Azuth, god of wizards, domain of knowledge.
Big smarty. Yes.
I've been called a smarty pants before, usually derogatory, but I appreciate the compliment.
You are smarty, and you worship the god of the smarties.
And somehow feel like this is slipping into territory that could be considered insulting, but I'll take the compliment.
Sorry, Nere, I'm not sure where I'm going with that.
Neither am I.
Nere,
Yes.
do you have anything on the Lord's Alliance, by any chance? Or perhaps, Raven Town? Where was Uldir from?
Baldur's Gate.
The Lords of Baldur's Gate, or Waterdeep, large towns.
I have a number of volumes that include the royalties from ancient histories of Feyran that lead all the way up to the present day. Nobles are not what they used to be since some of the great cataclysms that have occurred in our recent past, and the nobility don't rule like they used to, but it's quite interesting to look at how they inform the current rulers, as they're often backed by people with wealth or old powers that be. I could probably rustle up a couple of books on it if you wish.
Are there pictures in them by any chance?
Uh,
Not a big reader. I like to look at pictures, though.
You know what? I think one of the books that burned with the library is the little children's first nobility book.
Ah, you don't have any more
Unfortunately.
copies?
No, it was sort of a unique one of a kind. It was a shame I could not save it. All I've got is the book of very complicated diagrams and boring data structures that include lords
I guess
and ladies.
I'll get Horacio to read it to me.
I've heard that it's very good for putting you to sleep.
I do need that, actually. I'll take it.
Anger joke. Why are you looking, by the way?
All the while.
Yeah, so it just seems to be a strange thing to... You're the heroes of the Ten Towns. The Dragon Slayers. Just sounds like a very specific thing to ask.
Well, we're seeking passage to Yithrin, the prison.
Rebels End.
Rebels and the prison. Thank you, Feta.
Yithrin.
I need to read. Yeah,
Yithrin is something.
Something.
Is that the island we're going?
that's the hidden city buried under the ice.
Oh, that's the hidden.
You're looking for whales at Revel's End?
Yes.
We want to get into an island in the sea of moving ice,
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
and we don't want to pay for. Well, we don't want to. We wouldn't mind paying. We just don't want to pay exorbitant sums to, prison wardens.
Oh, you're looking for alternatives then?
Yeah.
Do you know any? Besides a whale?
She thinks about it for a bit. Well, by boat is obviously the classical means to get there, but as you pointed out, it's probably quite expensive. The lead of a whale is fairly inspired. As I said, it's some stories, but there's usually a silver lining of truth to all of those. One thing that might also interest you, actually, are you aware that in the Spine there are some clans of Goliaths that frequent this part of the Dale?
Yes, we know.
We met one of them.
Oh, fantastic! I wonder which clan they were. I believe there's a couple of feuding clans up that way. But one of them, which one is it? Oh, hang on. And she sits there and thinks for a while the DM
Kapanak
brings his
Talltree
notes up.
from Wormdoom Crag.
I put him down as an enemy. Oops.
Wow.
Everyone's an enemy
Rude.
until they're not.
Yeah.
Wormdew Crag. No, the other one. Sky Tower Shelter is what I'm thinking of. Members of the Karnathi clan. They've been known to train griffins to transport people, their own people, to and from the Dale. I don't know if they would lend you any, but I've heard that they are quite reliable for getting you from place to place.
Sounds spectacular. Thanks for letting us know.
You're welcome. It's only as solid a lead as I can get. It's been a while since I heard about the clans. Last I heard, they were feuding with what was the other clan you were talking about?
The Wormwoods? The
Worm
Wormtowns?
Trees?
Wormdoom.
Wormdoom Tribe?
Wormdooms?
I think that those two are feuding at the moment. There's some bad blood there. Anyway,
Do you know if they take currency, or is it like if we were to get them a gift, what sort of things are they into?
Oh, Goliath's culture is quite fascinating. A lot of ways it does mirror human culture. But being born from the blood of giants, they appreciate a number of other feats of strength, for example. They are quite interested in big, hearty meals that they can celebrate all together as a community. So often they will throw them for almost any reason at all. They like to roughhouse and fight, but not as in amongst themselves, not as a way to hurt each other, but to show bravado. they take a lot of stock in physical things with good quality, things that will very practical, often high in need for them because their builds, they typically need things that are sturdy and strong to withstand the things they use them for. They are large, they're almost as big as large creatures, so a lot of things need to be tailored specifically for them. Other than that, they often form quite tight-knit communities that are about scavenging, hunting, gathering, and then communalizing all of those resources together as quite valuable to them. Shows of community, teamwork, strength, these are all things that they appreciate.
All right, dinner and a wrestle. Good to know.
You might want to practice your caber toss while you're at it.
Oh, I don't need practice. You've never seen me caber toss.
It's true. You want to show us?
Not right now.
We're in the library.
Yeah, thank you, Svieta.
No tossing in the library, please. Thank you.
What was the name of the clan that trained griffins again, sorry?
That would be
Carnelian.
Carnelian?
I'm going to grab my pronunciation guide just in case there is one for that one.
That is quite the distance to go to be a maybe.
Yes, it's a lot of back and forward, like you say, as a maybe.
The pronunciation for that would be Anachronathi. Anachronathi. Because there is the Akarnathi is the family name. The people is Anachronathi.
You got a spelling there, Nere?
I will put the spelling and the phonetic in Discord.
What's Discord?
That's what we're having. We're having a
We're
discussion.
having a bit of...
right.
No, you're thinking discourse.
Metaphysical
sorry.
concept similar to chaos.
Yes.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Here's a question for you.
Yes?
Have you heard of the wizard Valine?
Valine. That name does sound familiar. Isn't she a bigwig from... I can't remember. Oh, I have heard the name before, yes. I think she's quite a high-ranking wizard in some circles, whilst I dabble myself. It's not something that I particularly care about. I'm more interested in the pursuit of knowledge through research, so I can't say much to that.
Might you have a book on her? Or perhaps a group that she's a member of?
Perhaps if I had my full library here, I could see if there is something. As it stands, I could look for you, but
Of course.
it's fairly narrow that I would have something on her specifically. Perhaps I would have something on her family, but even then, it would be probably very narrow.
Of course, I understand.
What about a book on an ancient city trapped beneath a glacier out to the east?
Or specifically in Icewind Dale.
Well, it's a bit out of the dale. It's in the... Oh, we don't have a...
Is that Ithrin?
Yeah, that's the name. Thank you.
Yithrin, the Emperor of Yithrin, yes. I think I might have a book or two on that. I'd have to do a bit of searching. I, again, was able to pull quite a few things. Yithrin is somewhat famous in arcane circles for a highly advanced magical empire in ancient times. I could see if I've got something, yeah. Might take me some time to look it up.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
What's the glacier called?
Caitlin, should we head over to the Black Iron Blades while she's looking?
I just want to put in also just one more book request.
Oh, sorry.
Would you happen to have a book of either ancient creatures or sea beasts by any chance? Picture books?
No.
Or any history books of Schult?
I perhaps could see if there is something, yes. I don't exactly know how my anthropomorphic history section fared after pulling it out of the library, so it may be a bit incomplete, but I could find something, I'm sure.
Yeah. Or
Perhaps some local knowledge would be easier, though. I've heard there's quite a boisterous fellow at the stables that apparently has a zoo.
no.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not.
We're going to go.
Boisterous
Let's
is
go,
certainly one
Wodun.
word. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. At any time, Caitlin.
Sorry, no, Ray. I just did it. Really quick one now. It just came to me after that.
You've run out of questions! What would you like to ask?
So what's the deal with skiing, all right?
What's the deal with skiing?
Like, do you know this character and his family? Apparently he's got about 10 siblings and they're all placed quite prominently throughout the Dale.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
I've been researching family histories in the Dale. It's a side passion project of mine. And the skiing family tree is fairly interesting. They seem to have popped up into the Dale somewhat recently, but it proliferated nearly every corner. There's the one here in Brinchanda, an older gentleman. Their father's father's father was the one that wrote the book that I gave to you. We could go in, if you wish, for a long and deep session on the history of skeins. We could be here for hours.
I just want your take.
It's almost like the family appeared suddenly in the Dale. Like it was born out of... I don't know where they emigrated from. I could never find that base understanding of where they came from. They appeared in the Dale some 150, maybe 120 years ago, and I don't know from whence they came, but they've certainly held deep roots in the cities since, usually in the major cities of Icewind Dale.
The mystery continues. Well, thank you.
I've got a pinboard with like little yarn and
I'd very much like
connecting.
to see that.
I suspect that a new religion popped out recently. Something about Ubok. In bust we must. Got that pinned over here. I'm glad I could be of some assistance. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Thank you.
I
Thanks,
hope we do
Ray.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Away!
Hi.
Let's split.
You exit the tent, and one of the things that was kind of hard to tell, I mean, when you walked into the tent, you felt that warmth, but now stepping outside, you can really feel just how much that small fire was doing to keep that entire room nice and warm and comfortable. As soon as you step out, the wind sort of picks up and chills you to your bone. You're back outside, and a number of people you can see going to and from different tents in the refugee town. And it looks like, though, the mood is alright. People seem to have lifted their spirits somewhat.
Svieta, I can pick up your order if you'd like to accompany Horacio to the field hospital.
I would very much appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
I also need to go to the Black Iron Blades.
Get your little measurements done.
Get studs added to my leather armor.
All they do is just take your existing one and just go, a stud gun to...
Yeah. Yeah. +1 AC.
That's how it works.
I'm wondering if, should we find the whale, do we need a saddle for it or something? How are we supposed to ride it across?
That's a good point.
Maybe it eats us.
I hope not.
Yeah, how does one ride a whale? That's a question.
Would you mind asking them if they can make us a giant harness or saddle?
Maybe we can use our...
I don't think we... I think we need to measure the whale if we wanted to commission a harness for it.
Oh, she gave us the book, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll open to page 394 and see what's on it.
Skiing.
Skill book.
It's a forward by Skeen. It's like, I see you've opened it to a random page and now you're here.
It's a talking book. It's not a pop-up, it's a talk-up.
It's just like one of those things. It's just one of those things where, like, yeah, that you didn't know it was a magic book, but then it was like, oh shit!
It's like a BioShock style, like cassette starts playing. You just get like an audio log.
Oh, I love it.
Welcome to my book.
Oh, he must be from like Eberron or something. It's like all this future tech just whittled in.
I mean, Callan does love Eberron.
Do I?
Yeah,
Do now.
You
obsessed
definitely
with
do.
it.
I've heard you say that all the time.
Okay, well, I'll believe you.
You
As soon
love
as-
Artificers and Warforged.
I like
and Changelings.
Changelings.
Yeah.
I actually really like Changelings.
I'm wondering if they've got like a picture of the whale in the book next to like something for reference. Whether or not it's just like the whale beached and then there's like a human trying to push it back into the beach or something.
Should we get an idea of
Yeah. Because if it's a huge whale, then we can just like hang out on top of its blowhole.
I'm going to say...
Spider climb spell or something and just ride it like bareback.
I'm going to say if you want to do a bit of research in the book, it'll take a little bit of time.
Can I read it while walking to the hospital? If I just like hang on to like Horacio, just so I don't have
Let's
to. Like,
just give it a bit more time from now, yeah?
Okay.
Okay. Alright, so that sounds to me like Carnelian and Wodun are going to make their way out of the refugee camp over to the Black Iron Blades and do some shopping. Perhaps there's an order that's been put in from everyone about what to exchange for what goods and services.
Yes.
And Horacio and Svieta make their way to the field hospital that's been set up here. It's not so much a field hospital. Like, there is hospital services in Bryn Shander, but it's likely they would have been overwhelmed by something like this. So you can guess that maybe the very serious injuries might have gone there initially. But you make your way there nonetheless. You part ways, and after about 30 minutes or so of picking your way through the streets and tents, you manage to find a very large tent more central to the town, to the little makeshift refugee camp that looks to be a field hospital. It's closed up at the moment, but you can see that it's lit up inside, and it sounds like there are people in there.
When you say it's locked up, like, is it sealed?
No, it just looks closed.
Oh, okay. Tentatively push a flat.
As you're approaching the tent that looks to be just closed up, Svieta, you're going over that book, as you said, that you're sort of just grabbing Horacio by one hand and letting him lead you to where the field hospital is, and you happen upon a page that discusses something that you might be interested in. So I guess you stop Horacio from going any further?
Yeah, I'll like tug back. Wait,
Ooh.
stop.
Yes?
I found something. Hang on.
Opening the page, you can see what looks to be a fairly crude, almost like it's carved from a woodcut and then been printed onto the page. It looks like a image of a sperm whale that has, if you look closely to the picture, looks like it has some sort of makeshift harness on it that's attached to its back. What's really quite interesting is that on that harness, this scene seems to depict the whale already underwater. And when you look above the harness, you can see a sort of bulbous, like transparent bubble, and there seem to be people standing inside. And you can see underneath there is a little inscription. Orngajul takes adventurers on an undersea tour. It looks probably like a crude version of this.
Ooh.
Oh, it's like Oh, so you should really read One Piece, because they put a bubble on one of the ships and like coat it, and it's basically the ship encased in a big bubble.
I promise you, I will read One Piece when I get a Viz account.
I'll read One Piece when it's done in 10 years.
10 years time.
Give it 15.
God, you got a bit of backlog to get through. If you
I
go
know.
on another 10.
I'm aware.
So it's basically a really... He looks pretty happy. A pretty happy sperm whale that's got like a makeshift boat with a bubble that's surrounding the boat. So they have like a capsule on them. That's pretty cool.
You're not fond of that, Andrew.
No, I hate that picture.
Why?
What is it?
I don't know, it's like underwater and whales and freaks me out.
Bismarck.
I'm not doing it. I'm getting the boat.
Big bubble?
Look at the little happy narwhals.
Got a narwhal,
He's
yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah, that makes it worse.
He's got a mustache.
Ooh, now we're talking.
See?
Oh, he does.
He's got tassels.
Yeah. I mean, it is the hardest, but it looks like a mustache.
I will point out that this
Lovely cut.
particular image is probably more high res than the woodcut that's in the book.
No, it's
but
really
this
fine
is generally what you're getting.
It's great. I want to turn like the book after like a Horatio, and like I'll turn the book around like, look, it's got a little boat on it. We can. Hopefully, it's still there. But look,
Svieta, I think you may have found us a way across.
it looks huge.
Reading the following text that accompanies the image, you can see that it speaks of the whale being kind to adventurers that it finds worthy and taking them on undersea tours and fantastical adventures in the sea of moving ice. This must be when times were much better in the Dale. But yeah, it looks like there is a way to call it. There is some mention in the text of a bell that can summon the whale from a certain location. You're just not entirely sure where that is. It's not really specific in the book at this stage.
I need a bell. No one's mentioned a bell to us. Have they, Horacio?
Not that I remember. I mean, I tend to remember everything, so...
That's why I come to you with these questions. You are reliable.
Maybe Valine might be able to shed some light on the whole whale bubble thing.
Yeah, it's a very goopy looking bubble.
It's fascinating. But it's also a potential way across.
If we can convince it of the good deeds that we've done and omit the bad ones.
I think our net deed is pretty good.
I think so.
You got Zimma there. That was important.
Well, it looks promising at least, and we don't have to go see the Goliaths anytime soon.
Yes, that was going to be a long shot. So yes, this is good.
Excellent.
Excellent.
I will tag the page so we don't lose it. I'm sure the others will be excited too.
Yeah, for sure.
Shall we go to the hospital?
Yes, I think we're almost there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you stop or anything.
No, definitely worth it.
So after stopping to check out the book and putting a little dog ear on the page, or maybe a bookmark that Nay gave you, you step forward to the hospital.
Yes.
It's right in front of you now, and you tentatively open the tent flap and step inside. Inside, what you can see is a fairly well-lit room that looks like there's probably been a couple of light spells put around the place to allow for easy visuals throughout, and perhaps much better than a fire for working on people in these sort of cramped spaces. You can see a number of people on medical cots or trying to recover. They don't look seriously injured. As I said, maybe the more critical have gone to the hospital, but there are a number of people that look like they're in a bit of pain and discomfort. Standing in the middle of the room with their back to you, you can see a man that looks like he is giving directions to a number of people that are coming to and from.
Svieta, should we approach and introduce ourselves?
You lead the way.
Okay. Yeah, approach the man.
You approach the man, and I guess you try and catch his attention?
Yeah. Excuse me there.
Turning around to face you is a familiar face that says, welcome to my field hospital. Welcome, friends.
Svieta, we're leaving.
Yes.
Not this dick puppet.
We dodged a bullet on this one.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
we really did.
It appears the dragon slayers of the 10 Town have come to pay me a visit. And we'll have to find out what all of that means next time on Reflex Save.
I'm not coming back.
I have to go.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially if one's dick
We
Well,
can-
no, we're going
we
to
can-
edit out.
we can get it in there.
because we did say
I
it.
you
reckon we
got
can
4
do
minutes
it.
for dick puppets.
That's the amount of times I've heard that.
Yes.
No,
Is it like a finger puppet?
No,
Like,
I don't
No.
know.
But-
Who's to say?
Dick
it's
finger.
like a condom.
Big finger.
You know those little monster, like rubber monster things you can get for your
Oh,
head?
yeah, with like
It's like
the
that
arms.
that goes on top of a
Yeah.
cock.
There you
They
go.
call them cock monsters.